Hi, my name is Memory. My biggest lesson in life is that I never stopped and enjoyed it before it was too late. The wind feels softer when you grow old. I did not notice it when I was young, always rushing, always chasing time. Now when I look back, I see a long road filled with quiet moments, hard work, love, and memories that never truly fade. I am just a simple man from Japan, and this is the story of how my life unfolded and why I am finally leaving home. I was born in a small village near Lake Biwa. Back then, the world felt simple. The morning smelled of fresh rice and mist rising from the water, and the mountains watched over us like silent guardians. We did not have much, but we had peace. My father left before I was even old enough to understand what it meant. When I was a young man, I got my first job as a sendo, a traditional riverboat guide in my hometown. Every morning, I stepped onto the wooden boat and guided people gently across the calm water. Tourists came from all over the world, different languages, different faces, different stories. I loved meeting people. I loved seeing their eyes light up when they experienced a piece of old Japan. The river was quiet, almost sacred. Sometimes the only sound was the water touching the boat and the wind through the trees. My arms would ache after long days, but I welcomed the pain. It meant I was alive. It meant I was moving forward. But deep inside, I had another dream. I wanted to become a chef. Food, to me, was a language of love. I moved to the big city, Osaka. The city was loud, fast, and unforgiving. Lights everywhere, people rushing, kitchens filled with noise and pressure. At first, I was excited. I worked in a restaurant, learning every technique, every flavor. But slowly, I realized how hard it truly was. I cared so much about the guests, about making every dish perfect, that I forgot to care about myself. Days turned into years. Years turned into decades. I worked there for 40 years. At night, after long shifts, I would help my mother at her small food stand in Osaka. She worked tirelessly, even when her hands trembled from age. To help her save money, I would travel to Kyoto to catch fish and bring fresh ingredients back to her. Those nights were quiet moments of love between us. No words were needed. Just the sound of cooking and the warmth of family. But life does not ask if you are ready. It just changes. Before I turned 60, my mother passed away. She simply fell asleep one day and never truly woke up again. And when she was gone, the world felt empty in a way I cannot explain. And then one day, I finally realized if I stayed in Osaka, I would disappear inside my work. One night, after the kitchen finally went quiet, I stood alone and asked myself a question I had been avoiding for years. Would my mother have wanted this for me? Would she have wanted me to live like a ghost, working, breathing, moving, but never truly living? I needed a change, or I would never return to myself. So I moved to a small town called Chizu. Surrounded by forests and mountains, life slowed down again. I worked as a chef in a small local restaurant. There, cooking felt different. It was not about speed or perfection anymore. It was about care. And in the quiet of that town, I finally started to hear my own thoughts again. For the first time in many years, I felt calm. At 70, I decided to change my life once more. I moved to Tottori, closer to the countryside. My body was getting weaker, and I could no longer work long hours. So I became a vegetable farmer. The days were quiet, just soil, sunlight, and time. Watching plants grow taught me patience. I met a woman I could never have even dreamed of. She was kind in a quiet way. We fell in love in the simplest way through shared mornings, quiet conversations, and the rhythm of everyday life. She later became my wife. Together, we traveled back to my hometown. We moved there together and built a quiet life in the place where my story first began. Eventually, I returned to working by the water, back to the rivers, back to the memories. I worked as a fisherman, waking before sunrise, feeling the cold air on my face. My greatest companion fell ill with cancer. She was always the light in my life, gentle, kind, and full of quiet strength. Before she passed away, she told me her last wish. She wanted to ride the subway in Tokyo. I thought we had more time, but time is something we never truly own. Now I am 101 years old, and I am finally going on the journey we never took together. I will ride the trains. I will see the cities. I will watch the world with the eyes she once had. Every step I take for both of us. When I look back at my life, I do not see success or failure. It is about noticing the journey. And now, after all these years, I will finally stop. And I will finally enjoy it. For her, for my mother, for me.